Yo, what the hell going on with y'all out there? I know y'all all fat and stuff. They eating all that glop, glibbity glop. When the Thanksgiving looking like a normal human being came out on the other side, looking like a complete circle. I know it. I know it. Can't fool me none. I see some of y'all. Yeah, I go to the gas station. Still go to the store. Not yesterday, though. I mean, people was out acting the damn fool. Y'all know how that Black Friday shit go. Out and about, waddling down the street, waddling to the gas pump, waddling to the post office to mail off your little letters, your little preemptive Christmas letters. You know, the letters you send in to people who you know damn well you're not buying any gifts for this year, so you decide to get a head start on the mailing off thingies. Like, listen here, I ain't getting you nothing, so just accept this little cheap paper mache bullshit ass card, because that's all you're gonna get from me. You might not even hear from me on Christmas. You might hear from me New Year's Eve, and that'll be because maybe I'm drunk already. I know. Well, you know what I'm saying? That being said, we gonna jump off into some of this. As Kanye will call it, cray cray. World has gone cray cray. We're gonna talk about how the Florida police preemptively prevented another mass casualty at basically a marathon. And that's crazy in itself. It's like, you mean you motherfuckers haven't learned? The dude that ran over some people at a parade in Wisconsin, dude just got 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000 years. That's right. 1,000 years. That judge wasn't playing. And you got idiots like this woman decide, well, I'm in such a hurry and something's obviously wrong with me, or, allegedly, preemptively say that first. Maybe it was postmenopausal. Allegedly, she's going through something. She's losing her mind. She's going through so much. She had to forgive her. I already hear the arguments mounting. I already hear the excuses being made for this woman before she even. The incident just happened on Thanksgiving. So, but you better believe all the apologists, the feminists and the apologists for this woman, they already out in masses. Like, oh, we got to figure out a way to save this woman. So if the guy got, what was it, like 500 and 500 or something like that. So if they gave him like 1,000, are they at least gonna give her 500? Or because, well, he actually ran over some people, But still, even the thought, you got to be out of your damn mind to even think about running over people in a parade, a marathon route, anything, any mass gathering like that. You got to be out of your mind, even be considering doing that. 1,000 years, this nigga got 1,000 years. She better be thankful the police was able to stop her from doing something. Because, that woman's privilege, let's say she would at least got 500, right? 300? Still. How long do you think you're going to live? That should be the going rate when people do stuff like that. Mass killings and stuff like that. People just flip out. Yeah, I'm just going to take out some people. Yeah. You know what? That should be put on the books nationally in every state. 1,000 years. You should get so many years that you forget what outside look like. You should you should be to the point where you forget what clouds look like. You forget what sunlight looks like. You forget what trees look like normal shit. You forget what somebody's lawn looks like or a sidewalk. You should forget all that. That's how long you should be locked up. 1,000 years. I'm with that. But distribute it evenly. I don't give a damn if it's a man, woman, or whatever. You do something like that, 1,000 years in shekels. Anyway, let's check this out. Police in Florida stopped a woman who was allegedly about to drive her car through the route of a 5K run on Thanksgiving morning. The St. Petersburg Police Department said 38-year-old Ashley Lauren Morgan was driving her 2019 Range Rover Bel Air while going 60 miles per hour on Thursday as she was approaching 21st Avenue Northeast near the route for the Coffee Pot Turkey Trot, according to Fox 13. Yikes. Police said the woman was stopped before driving her vehicle through the route of the 5K, which was closed to traffic. See, so she about to go through barricades. This broad going 60 miles an hour. This broad is cuckoo. And I don't care. Okay, I'm glad they stopped her from actually causing casualties and stuff like that. But she got to get some years. Dude got 1,000 for killing people. She going 60 towards a 5K marathon. Whole bunch of people could have died. Could have got killed. So I'm saying, man, give her 150 years at least. I mean, y'all saw what her intentions was. I don't care if she's disturbed. I don't care if she's going to or her man knocked her upside her head. I don't care what excuse or what allegedly reason she had for doing what she did. She's driving a Range Rover 60 miles an hour heading towards a marathon. Give this bitch 150 years or something. Because hey, we gotta stop this nonsense. This slap on the wrist stuff, the slap on the wrist shit. Nah, we got to can that. Set the precedent. It's been set. Oh boy, killed some people in a parade. 1,000 years. So, yo, get this bro. They stopped her. Her intentions look, or I don't know. She was so mad and angry out of her mind and post-menopause or whatever it was. Lost her tampon. She bleeding. She cramping. Whatever. Man cheating on her. Man, her man fucking her sister. I don't care. 150 years on her neck. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway. Police say the woman stopped before driving her vehicle due to okay. Yeah, she stopped. She probably was scared of catching a bullet in her brain. And she looked like I'm gonna leave all the links, everything I touch upon on this stream. Everything will be linked in the description box down below. You guys can check it out for yourself. She looked cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm trying to tell you. This bitch looked cray-cray. According to the arrest report, Morgan was allegedly driving in a reckless manner as she approached the route where around 3,000 people were participating in the 5K. And what if she would have kept going? What if she would have just decided to keep going through the barricade and mowing these people down? Tell me, 1,000 years on her neck, straight up. Life sentence. Mother of Florida lawyer killed in murder for hire plot. Okay, that's something else. Okay, let me skip past it. St. Louis Petersburg Police Department is alleging the 38-year-old allegedly. You got to put that now. Allegedly, 38-year-old Ashley Lauren Morgan was driving a Range Rover 60 miles. Yeah. Police said in a court document that Morgan refused, ignored commands of stop, and fled the scene of the stop at an extremely high rate of speed onto the actual race course, further putting the lives of runners, race participants at risk. Not to mention pedestrians. I'm sure there's people out there watching the marathon, the 5K race. I'm pretty sure. After attempting to flee police officers, the woman was eventually forced to stop at an intersection. You see, they forced her to stop. So she had no intention of stopping. She was going to plow through and run people over. They had to physically force her from stopping. Or if this was in another part of the country where, let's say some of these other states, they've actually banned police pursuits. So they say high-speed police pursuits are a danger to the public, so you are no longer allowed to pursue in high-speed chases of alleged criminals. And when I think of the places like this, one particular state comes to mind, Illinois. What do you know? It's a blue flu state. Oh, they were championing that blue flu stuff really hard, among other things, among tying the police department's hands to where they're limited in how they pursue criminals, and how it's like they effectively tied their hands of the police departments in the city of Chicago and the law-abiding citizens who would like to bear arms, who would like to get firearms to protect themselves. There's so much red tape and stringent policies that don't affect the criminals at all. Because of course, if you're a criminal, you don't give a fuck about law. You don't care how many laws they pass or change January 1st of every year. It doesn't affect you one bit because you're a fucking criminal. Why would you care? But law-abiding citizens whose tax dollars go into taking care of and incarcerating criminals that are already locked up in the judicial system, that burden falls on you. And to add insult to injury, comes out of your pocket, and you got to worry about your own life once you step outside, because it seems like they're going out of their way to prevent you from protecting yourself and your family. It's just the Bermuda Triangle of clusterfuck in the state of Illinois, as well as other blue states, New York, Los Angeles, all in the same fucking boat. Detroit. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy with a mic. Had Morgan not been stopped by police officers, officials say that she would have caused mass casualties to race participants. When one officer attempted to stop Morgan, she placed her hand up in the air in a dismissive manner and fled from him as well, the affidavit states. So she had no regard for police authority. She like, I'm a woman. You can't do anything to me. I can do whatever I want. Shoot along while I run over these people over here because badge rights. Authorities also alleged that after Morgan was arrested, she repeatedly banged her head against the window of a police cruiser, placing her feet out of the the rear driver's side door while refusing to put them back inside the car. This woman is Lulu. This woman belongs on Looney Tunes. Just hire a sketch artist to animate her. Put her picture out on the Cuckoo Network, because that's where this character belongs. This bitch is crazy. 200 years. Fuck that. I changed my mind. 150 is not enough. Give this bitch 200 years. 200 years in the pokey. Because I guarantee you, as dismissive as she was, what she could have done, and keep in mind, earlier in the article, they said the police had to force her to stop. They didn't ask her to stop. No. They didn't give her a command a couple hundred times, and then she finally says, "Oh, okay, you got me." No, they had to physically force. That means they had to barricade her and like pin her truck into a situation to where she could not move. They had to physically stop her. 250 years. Fuck that. Might have to keep going up on this one because this business is crazy. What? Yeah, come on now. Officials say that she was eventually pepper sprayed in order to make her comply with police. She is being charged with leaving the scene of a crash with property damage, 2 counts of fleeing and eluding police, reckless driving, and resisting an officer without violence. That's kind of interesting how they phrase that. Resisting an officer without violence. Okay, I'm gonna ask the question. If it was a man, would that even be phrased in that manner? Resisting an officer without violence. See, they're throwing them little words in there already to try to lighten the blow, lighten the sentence. If they had to physically stop her after crashing, pin the vehicle to keep her from moving because she was going to keep going to mow down pedestrians, people watching the 5K race, as well as the participants. I mean, can't you surmise that at that point in time she was using that SUV, that Range Rover, as a weapon? Can that not be looked at as a weapon? Any police officers that come across this video, please jump in the comment section and tell me, because the way it's being described, how it went down, I would say that truck she was driving is a weapon. And she was using it in a violent manner, fleeing from authorities. And she could have caused mass casualties. So because police officers was able to force her to stop, she's not complying when she's in the car. I got her feet all hanging out the window, like it's just another day in the neighborhood. 250 years. I don't care. Fuck that. 200 years. Who gives a damn about her badge card? Revoke all privileges. Non-deserving. She's a nut bag. Put her under the jail to where her roommates are roaches, maggots, and retarded squirrels. Keep this bitch off the street. She think because I have a Range Rover. You can't tell me what to do. You're just a police officer. How dare you? Gag me with a spoon. Yeah, bitch. You gonna be put under the jail. Enjoy that. Crazy world, crazy world. Speaking of crazy world and crazy people running crazy cities, What do we have here in the state of Illinois? The Chicago mayoral election. I saw a video where she revoked the press credentials of a guy who was just basically asking. He was asking general questions, but he was asking straightforward, hard questions. And she went out. Lori Lightfoot went out of her way to not answer those questions, and they were legit questions about the crime in Chicago. What is she doing about it? Why has it gotten considerably worse under her leadership? What is she doing? I mean, like general, like real questions that need to be answered. And since Chicago has now turned to the election cycle, you know how these Democrats do. They don't want to answer any tough questions. They don't want to be perceived a certain way. They don't want to be looked at a certain way, like they don't know what they're doing. But if you look at their cities, you can see they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You can literally see that, especially if you live in a city like Chicago. You know for a fact how unsafe that city is. You know damn well how unsafe that city is. That is without a doubt, in my personal opinion, Chicago is the most dangerous city in this country. And I'm not just saying this from a distance. Yeah, I live in Texas now, but because I was smart. But I digress. That city is the most dangerous city in Chicago. I know from experience. I was born and raised in that motherfucker. From Evanston, Illinois, on the north side, right next door to Chicago, to the south side of Chicago. All over the place. Bellwood, outside of Chicago, has got considerably worse. Maywood lived there. West side. Back to the south side on 31st in King Drive. 63rd and Stony. Back in 96, 87th and Stony. I mean, I've been all over that city. I know how dangerous it has always been, but it is extremely worse now. It is considerably worse. Straight up. But hey, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a guy with a mic just talking. I can't possibly know anything, right? But legacy media knows everything. They never lie about anything, do they? Or do they? Yes. RIP legacy media. We've known for years you guys are full of lies. And we're going to chop y'all at the knees at this point. Because the people are rising up. Let's talk about this upcoming Chicago election. Chicago mayoral election set to take place early next year comes amid an unprecedented spike in crime as incumbent Mayor Lori Lightfoot seeks to defend her post in the mayor's office against numerous challengers. It should not be hard at all to unseat this woman. The only thing she cares about is the gay agenda. If you're not gay, she don't have any use for you. She don't care anything about you. If you're conservative, she don't like you. She don't want to talk to you. If you're a conservative black man, she hates your guts. And she will go out of her way to destroy you. You better stay out of her way and not let her find out you're a conservative black man. A straight conservative black man? Oh, she would target you. I would say almost, but you know what? I think she hates straight conservative black men more than she hates straight conservative white men. And she hates y'all. She definitely hates y'all. But I think she hates us more. I'm willing to put that on the line. I'm willing to put the cards on the table and put the piggy bank on the table and push all my chips to the middle of the table. She definitely hates straight black men more than conservative straight white men. I bet you. Most definitely. And my brown brethren, my conservative straight brown brothers, oh, she hates you too. She view us as traitors to the Democratic Party, and we're crazy and delusional, and we're easily influenced by misinformation, and the typical tropes that the left try to throw out there. They're the type of person. Remember when you were young and you would stand next to your friend and you'd reach over to their opposite shoulder and tap them on the shoulder to get them to look in the opposite direction, knowing it was you standing right there on the other side? This is what the Democrats do. What did ODB say? Shake your right hand and stab you with the left. That's pretty much what the Democrats is, the left wing agenda, the extreme left wing agenda. That's exactly how they are. Shake your right hand and stab you with the left. Anyway, several individuals have announced their candidacy in the race ahead of the November 28th filing deadline and will face off in the Windy City's nonpartisan mayoral election slated for February 28th. One thing that's very interesting is there was one time that they had just slid. I think Rahm Emanuel was in office. They didn't mention the election at all in the media. You didn't even know it. It came and went, and before you knew it was like, oh, Rahm Emanuel has been reelected, and everybody was like, wait a minute, when was the election? I mean, there was literally no mention of it in the media at all, online or anything. They completely scrubbed any and all information when this election would be held, where you could cast your votes. All that information was just top secret because that blue machine that runs the state of Illinois, and the heartbeat of Illinois is the city of Chicago, and they just shoehorn Rahm Emanuel right back up in there. And everybody was like, that was like the first glimpse of extreme, like in your face, we fixing elections and ain't shit you can do about it. That was like the beginning right there. Rahm Emanuel was mayor, Barack Obama was president, so they had that connection and hookup. Straight corruption. Chicago has been ripe. It's been full of corruption since you take it all the way back to the Al Capone days. It's never stopped. It's been going on and on and on. And Mayor Daley, et cetera, et cetera. But that Rahm Emanuel deal, that shit was crazy. It was because everybody was like, I didn't even know it was an election coming up. 'Cause I sure would have voted that motherfucker up out of there. But and here we lie in 2022 with Joe Biden and alleged misdeeds committed during the voting cycle, allegedly, because, according to a lot of people, there's no proof. The laptop don't exist. Don't look this way, look that way. Anyway, while there are a number of issues in focus ahead of the election, crime is a central priority for both candidates and voters. Homicides in the Deep Blue City rose to their highest number in 25 years in 2021. According to police department records, outpacing New York City and Los Angeles. Oh, what a surprise. Several candidates who aim to serve as Chicago's 57th mayor told Fox News Digital They believe that Lightfoot has not fulfilled promises to make the city a safer environment as they stress the importance of supporting police and tackling crime head on. Yeah, she definitely in support of the criminals because in her mind and the Democrats' mind, that helps them get it reelected. Let the city, Chicago, aka Gotham City, just streamline out of control. And then we could use the crime and the fear of the law abiding citizens as a way to garner more votes for us. Because we're going to get up there and we're going to talk about the same shit: racism, 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 crime. And we're going to scare them to death to where they feel they have to vote for us again. That's their plan. Every election cycle, all the time. Racism, crime. Crime naturally unfolds because they just let the shit happen. That's what they do. Like, fuck it. Let it happen. Chicago needs a leader who understands our city, its people, its history, and its character. It needs someone who is a consensus builder, someone who is willing to work with everyone from across the city, who doesn't get into feuds and has a thick skin. And that's one thing Lori Lightfoot does not have. She is one of the thinnest skinned politicians I've ever seen in my life. You can't disagree with her on anything. And before she starts trying to shut you down and tune you out and dismiss you and get her goons, aka security, to rough you up like they did this one reporter. You know she was responsible for revoking his pass, his press credentials because she didn't want to answer the hard questions he was posing to her. And as of this moment, there's a lawsuit. He filed a lawsuit with the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, named in the lawsuit because what she's doing, she's been a tyrant. And this is what these thin-skinned blueies like to do. And he should win his case easily because she definitely gave him the runaround. Didn't want to answer questions. Then next thing you know, his press credentials gets revoked. He goes in and he shows it to him, and the cop says, "Hey, this is forged. This is fake. It's supposed to be pink." Ironically, anyway, none of the none of those things describe our current mayor, said Roderick Sawyer, the son of former Chicago Mayor Eugene Sawyer, looking to follow in his father's footsteps as mayor. Sawyer, a current member of the Chicago City Council, who was elected to represent the South Side 6th Ward in 2011, insisted that a role such as mayor requires someone who has a history of working on budgets, passing legislation, and finding practical solutions. I agree. We have a public safety crisis that I won't claim is entirely the fault of our current mayor. I will. Though she though she certainly hasn't helped, Sawyer said. We need to address public safety and crime from a wide variety of angles. We have a level of crime anxiety that affects everyone, even those who don't live in our most crime affected areas. Police reform is an important and frequently misunderstood component of crime reduction, he added. We need a strong police force, but a police department is strongest when it is respected and welcomed in all communities, not feared in some. Reform is not a tool to weaken police, but to empower them. Sawyer believes that Lightfoot does not play well with others and chooses petty feuds over leadership, and her priorities are puzzling at best. Regarding Lightfoot's ability to lead, Sawyer, who noted that he grew up in a part of Chicago with a high crime rate, said the current mayor is not respected or liked by the police department, and yet she has stood in the way of one of her primary campaign promises, meaningful police reform. Because she's a fucking liar, that's why. And she needs to be ousted out of that seat. Some people can't handle power. You give some people power and they abuse it as soon as they get the slightest touch, the slightest taste of that power that's right at the tip of their fingertips. They lose their damn mind because they've never had power before. They never had people fear them before. She might have been the type of person, maybe she got picked on growing up. Got her lunch money taken, got pushed around or whatever. But she's a real small woman anyway. She ain't got no size on her. She's a little itty bitty woman. Probably got talked about, oh, you little short stack, you look like half of a kibble without the bit. I mean, so once she finally got her hands on some power, it's like you can't even. She's the type of person that she can't even take a joke. It's like that's how sensitive and thin-skinned she is about everything. Can't take a joke. Can't take serious questioning either. Okay, you don't want to take a joke? That's fine. Let's have a serious discussion. You ask her like real serious questions, real tough, straightforward questions that need to be answered. She's not capable. She's not capable of engaging in that without getting overly sensitive and angry at you. Who are you? All you're pushing an agenda and all that. Just answer the fucking question, short stack. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the link to this article in the description box down below. You guys can check it out for yourself. Hold on for a second.
Hey, how you doing, sir? My name is Joe. I'm from Steadfast Baptist Church. We just give out church invites. Okay. Yes, sir. Do you go to church anywhere? No. Okay, we'd love for you to come check us out. We're in Watauga, right off of Benson Highway. Okay. Yes, sir. What's your name? Robert. Robert? Yeah. I'm Joe Robert. Nice to meet you, sir. Yeah, Robert, more important than going to church is going to heaven. Sir. So God forbid if you die today, you know for sure if you go to heaven? Do you ever think about that? Yes, sir. Okay, you know for sure you're going? All right, awesome. That's good. That's good. And if you don't mind me asking you, there's a lot of different beliefs out there. What do you personally believe you have to do to go to heaven? I'm a little busy right now. Okay. But I'll be honest with you. Go ahead, be honest. I don't choose one church or religion over the other. Okay. Yeah. But I do believe in God. Right. And I pretty believe in God. Yeah. And do you believe the Bible is the Word of God? Like the words that God gave us during this book? Yeah, I believe in the Bible. Yeah. I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Quran. I believe in the Torah. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, if you have a few minutes, Robert, I can show you what the Bible says. I actually don't. Yeah. All right. But all right. Nice meeting you. Yeah. You guys be safe. Have a good one right there.
Yeah. Evangelicals is on their grind today, knocking on the door and passing out the good word. I lead people not to get on the religious tip, but I grew up as my aunt was a Jehovah's Witness. My dad was in the church. He was a Christian. My uncle was Muslim. So the thing, I didn't know anybody that was Jewish or anything like that. But I still, even as a kid, I got my hands on the Torah. So I had the Torah, the Quran, and the Bible, and I read all three. And yeah, I remember even as a kid, I would think to myself, like, man, these books have a lot of similarities. Seems like it should have just been one big book. I mean, it doesn't. I don't understand why they're separate. Even as a kid, I was thinking this like this doesn't seem right. But hey, whatever makes you a better person individually, go with it. Me myself, yes, of course, I believe in God. I always have. But I'm smart enough to know it is not what these religions have taught us over the years, because they've taught us in ways that benefit them. And it's just a whole rabbit hole that you can go down when it comes to that. But back to Miss Lori Lightfoot on her bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this in the description box down below. You guys can check that out. Let's get on this gun run thing. Y'all hear about this run on guns in Maryland? Maryland gun store looted on Black Friday. Thieves allegedly took long guns. So long guns was the target. Police in Maryland are investigating after multiple people allegedly broke into a gun store and left with long guns. The incident happened on early Friday morning at around 1 a.m. when at least five suspects allegedly broke into Atlantic Guns in Rockville, Maryland, the Montgomery County Police Department told Fox 5. Police said that a black sedan crashed into the gun shop and the alleged thieves entered the store taking long guns. In a Facebook post, Atlantic Guns said the damage appears to be minimal, alleging that the same group of people attempted to enter the store on November 20th. Uh, These idiots go back to the same store, huh? So on the 20th, I guess that was a dry run to see if they can do it. Then they come back on Thanksgiving, on Black Friday, and actually do the deed. And then they knew the exact guns they was coming for. That's very interesting. Many of our followers, customers, or friends already know there was an attempt to make entry into the store last Saturday morning. Unfortunately, what appears to be the same group of individuals returned early this morning and made a successful entry and theft. We are still assessing the damage and missing items, which do appear to be minimal overall, Atlantic Guns wrote. The Atlantic Gun Store opened on Friday at a limited capacity and implemented a check-in process to control customer flow. That's crazy though. So they tried it a week ago and they wasn't able to do it, and then came back a week later and shit, and they was able to do it. I'm thinking that was probably the first time was probably it was like, all right, let's see how far we can get, and if we get in, then we'll just do it now. And then they wasn't able to get in. Then they went back to lab and was like, all right, this is why we couldn't get in. This is why it didn't work. Let's come back on Black Friday. I mean, you know, who knows? Seems like a smash and grab and shit. And they failed the first time, and it was like, all right, let's try again on Black Friday. They can be distracted, shit like that. So I'm gonna leave this link in the description box down below. Seems like they got very little information anyway, but they do know it's the same group that tried it a week before. So you know, probably they used the same method that didn't work the week before. That's crazy. What? Why long guns though? Why? I mean, not saying that it's bad to have long guns, but you know, somebody went to the criminals and specifically placed the order. Like, hey man, hey, I need some long guns, bro. What can you do for me? Yeah, I know where we can go get some. How much you gonna pay? I got a little bit. I got a little bit. Okay, we'll go get you some long guns. That's all you want? Just long guns? Yeah, yeah, yes. Just long guns. Yeah, I like long guns. So like putting big rhinoceros-sized holes in people. All right, that's just my interpretation. That's how I picture the conversation going. Anyway, as we move along, yes, the man whose name a lot of people are afraid to speaketh, unless you are braveth. Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation benefited banks, accusers allege in the lawsuit. Yeah, that motherfucker was a sicko, and he didn't kill himself, allegedly. My personal opinion. I don't think he killed himself, but you know. Mm. Women who accused Jeffrey Epstein of abuse filed a lawsuit against two banks they claim benefited financially from his sex trafficking system. Mm. Two separate lawsuits filed Thursday in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York are headed by women who remain anonymous in the filings and are suing. I can't pronounce that. Deutsche Bank AG and JP Morgan Chase and Company. DEUTSCHE. I can't pronounce that shit, so forgive me. The allegations include a claim the banks are at fault for assisting, supporting, facilitating, and otherwise providing the most critical service for the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking organization to successfully rape, sexually assault, and coercively sex traffic. The accusers claim the banks had knowledge of the pattern of sex trafficking from Epstein, an allegation denied by the bank. We believe this claim lacks merit and will present our arguments in court, a spokesperson for the bank said. Jeffrey Epstein documents to be unsealed, potentially revealing acquaintances, judge orders. Now, all of this is going to be in the link in the description box posted down below. You guys can check it out for yourself. The women alleged that complicity from the banks in Epstein's sex trafficking operation was essential and gave the billionaire an appearance of legitimacy. Mm. Epstein died in prison, allegedly, while awaiting trial for sex trafficking. Jocelyn Maxwell, an associate of Epstein, was found guilty of child sex trafficking in December. Mhm. The lawsuits come amid a one-year window established by New York where the statute of limitation deadlines for sex crime lawsuits are waived, allowing victims to take legal action on old cases. Well, well, well. Very interesting. And as I go down, I was looking at a random photo in the gallery, and the caption reads, "The most inappropriate dress on the Met Gala red carpet." And of course, they have a picture of Meg the horse. Shut up, Meg. Anyway. yeah, this world is increasingly gotten out of control, aka El Crazito. But where do you have it? You got crazy mayors with thin skin. You got people running up in stores with long guns, not short guns, not midget guns, but long guns. Yeah, we got to order for long guns because we want to be able to shoot the head off a raccoon just tipping over my garbage can. Anyway, people, I know you guys are fat and stuff. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with the brother. If you like the content, support the content. Hit up the Cash App, $ Cobra Clutch 357. And with that being said, get out my fucking face. Nah, just kidding. Y'all enjoy y'all evening, y'all day, y'all afternoon. Anyway, I'm out.